Assalamualaikum students, I hope you all are doing great at your home. Before starting our today's lesson, let's recap from the previous lesson. So the chapter number one, we are learning chapter number one. The name of chapter number one is the computer system, and let's recap from the previous lesson. So in the previous lessons, we discussed about what is computer, and after that we learn about the hardware and the software, and then we discuss about the input and output devices. So what is computer? So basically computer is an electronic machine that is used to store the data. For example, if you want to make an assignment and you want to save that assignment, then you can use the computer. If you want to make the record of your all assignments, then you can also use the computer for that purpose. Okay, so after that there is the other question, that is what is the difference between the hardware and the software. So software is a set of programs that tells the computer what to do. These are the programs that tells the computer what to do, and these programs are inside the computer. We can't touch it, हम इसको touch नहीं कर सकते. Okay, for example your games, your applications में अगर example देखें, so this is the MS Word. ये आपका क्या है, MS Word, and it is an application. We can't touch it, हम इसको touch नहीं कर सकते, and this is the program that run inside the computer, so that's why it is known as a software. Okay, and after that Windows, Paint, Studios, these are the software applications. Okay, and after that there is the other topic, that is hardware. So hardware is a physical part of the computer that we can touch and see. These are the part of computer that we can see and we can touch. For example, the mouse, the keyboard, these are the computer parts that we can touch and see. Okay, and after that we learn about the input and output devices. So input devices are the devices that are used to give input to the computer. ठीक है, जो devices आपको computer को input देती हैं are known as the input devices, and on the other hand the output devices are the devices that are used to give the output that are used to get the output from the computer. जो devices computer से output लेती हैं, these are known as the output devices, and the devices that are used to give input to the computer, जो computer को input देती हैं, are known as the input devices. Okay, so the example of input devices are keyboard, okay, your mouse. These are the devices that are used to give the input to the computer. And on the other hand, the output devices are the devices that are used to get output from the computer. So the example are monitor. We get the output from the monitor screen, and after that the speaker. We get the voice from the speaker. So these are the output devices. Okay. So this is the recap from the previous lesson. Now today we learn about the CPU, which is the most important part of the computer system. Okay. So if we learn about the CPU, so CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. The full form of CPU is Central Processing Unit. C stand for Central, P stand for Processing, and U stand for Unit. Okay, so it is also known as the brain of computer because it controls all the operations and processes डाटा. ठीक है, ये आपके जो कंप्यूटर है उसके जितनी भी एक्टिविटीज़ हैं उसको कंट्रोल करते हैं और डाटा को प्रोसेस करता है. फॉर एग्जांपल इफ़ यू टेक अ ह्यूमन ब्रेन, अगर आप ह्यूमन ब्रेन की एग्जांपल को लें, द ह्यूमन ब्रेन इज़ यूज्ड टू कंट्रोल ऑल द बॉडी एक्टिविटीज़, बॉडी मूवमेंट. ठीक है, आपकी जितनी भी बॉडी एक्टिविटीज़ है, जितनी भी बॉडी मूवमेंट है, वो कौन कंट्रोल करता है? आवर ब्रेन कंट्रोल इट. ठीक है, सो सिमिलरली in the computer the CPU is used to control all the parts of the computer. ठीक है, so that's why it is known as the brain of computer. So the key points that we are going to explain are CPU performs, how the CPU do the calculation, how the CPU control all the activities and instruction. Okay, so there is one question: why is the CPU called the brain of computer? आप लोग मुझे ये बता सकते हैं कि why is the CPU or Central Processing Unit is known as the brain of computer? Any one of you? If you know the answer, then you can write it in the comment section. Okay. So the CPU is also known as the brain of computer because it controls all the activities. Okay, so this is the answer. If I asked why the CPU is called the brain of computer, then you have to say that it is known as the brain of computer because it controls all the activities of computer. Okay. So we are going to discuss about the different part of CPU. So there are three different part of CPU that work together to run the computer. So the first one is ALU. ALU stand for Arithmetic Logic Unit. A stand for Arithmetic, L stand for Logic, and U stand for Unit. The full form of ALU is Arithmetic Logic Unit. Okay, so ALU perform arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, arithmetic. You can take ALU as your maths teacher. So your maths teacher can perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So similarly, ALU is used to do these type of question like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, it also perform the logical operation like comparisons, which one is the greater one, which one is the less, which one is less than and equal to. So it is also used for arithmetic and logic operation, to do the arithmetic operations and logical operation. For example, when you calculate 25 plus 15 on a computer, the ALU perform the calculation. अगर आपने कोई भी addition करनी है, if you want to add two digits, then ALU will perform this task. Okay, if you want to subtract two digits, then ALU will perform this task. And similarly for multiplication and division and your comparison questions. So now there is a question that you have to tell me which part of CPU perform calculation. ठीक है, आप लोग मुझे बताएंगे कि कौन सा ऐसा part है CPU का that is used for calculation, जो calculation के लिए use होता है. Okay. The second part of CPU is control unit, CU. The short form of control unit is CU. C stand for control and U stand for unit. So the full form of CU is control unit. So the CU controls and coordinates all part of the computer. It directs the flow of data between the CPU, memory, and other devices. For example, when you press a key on a keyboard, the CU send instruction to process the input. ठीक है, ये क्या करता है, आपके different parts को एक दूसरे से link करता है. ठीक है, ताकि वो better and ये make sure करता है, it make sure that all the parts work together smoothly. एक साथ वो अच्छे से work कर सके. Just like a coordinator in our school. ठीक है, वो different teachers को एक दूसरे के साथ coordinate कराते हैं ताकि आप लोग के अच्छे से lesson deliver हो सके. Okay. So now you have to tell me which part controls the computer operation. Computer operation कौन control करता है, कौन coordination आप लोग के different parts में perform करवाता है. Okay. The last part is memory unit, MU. M stand for memory and U stand for unit. So the full form of MU is memory unit. Memory unit store data, instruction and result because there is a word memory, so it is basically used for storage purpose. ठीक है, अगर storage की बात करें तो आपके CPU में storage भी तो होगी. ठीक है, तो वो store आपका data कहाँ हो रहा है, in memory unit. ठीक है, तो it helps the computer remember information temporary and permanently. ठीक है, आपने अगर temporary कोई information store करनी है या permanently store करनी है तो वो कहाँ आप लोग के इस चीज़ के लिए responsible कौन होगा, MU, memory unit. Okay, when you save a, for example, when you save a document, the memory unit store the data. अगर आपने कोई document save करना है तो वो कहाँ से, उसको कौन सेव करेगा, मेमोरी यूनिट. ओके, सो नाउ यू हैव टू टेल मी विच पार्ट स्टोर द इंफॉर्मेशन. कौन सा पार्ट है सीपीयू का जो इंफॉर्मेशन को स्टोर कर रहे हैं. ओके, सो this is the question that we are going to write on a notebook. So you have to take out your notebook and write this long question on your notebook. Okay, please take out your notebook and write this on your notebook in the neat and clean way. ठीक है, आप लोगों ने साफ बिल्कुल लिखना है इसको. Okay, so the question number 8 is explain the CPU. Okay, you have to explain the CPU with its part. This is your question number 8 and it is your long question. You have to write this question on your notebook. ठीक है, आपने अपनी notebook के ऊपर इसको लिखना है. Okay, so the answer is first you have to write CPU. Okay, so first you have to write the full form of CPU. So CPU stands for Central Processing Unit, and after that it is also known as brain of computer. Okay, why it is also known as the brain of computer? Because it controls all the activities of computer. So that's why it is known as the brain of computer, because it controls all the operations of computer or activities of computer and processes data. Okay, and after that you have to write some points about the CPU. So CPU performs क्या क्या काम करता है, functions. You have to write the functions of CPU. So CPU perform the calculation, CPU control all computer activities, CPU processes instructions or data. CPU works very fast. Okay, so these are some functionalities or characteristic of CPU. Now we are going to start the parts of CPU. Parts of CPU. Okay, so how many parts the CPU have? So there are 3 parts of CPU. ALU, CU, MU. Okay, so first we will discuss about the ALU. Okay, so the full form of ALU is Arithmetic Logic Unit. ALU stands for Arithmetic Unit. Okay, so the ALU stands for Arithmetic Logic Unit. Is it clear? First you have to write the full form. The full form of ALU is Arithmetic Logical Unit, and then you have to write the function of ALU. Why we are using the ALU? So we are using ALU because ALU performs arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, and after that there are 2 words, arithmetic and logic. So it is also used for performing the logic operations. It also performs logical operations like comparison, ठीक है, और कंपैरिजन में क्या आएंगे, ग्रेटर देन, लेस देन और इक्वल टू. The example. Okay, so the example is when you want to add 2 digits like 4 plus 5, the ALU perform this calculation. Is it clear? So whenever you write the explanation of any part of CPU, then first you have to write the full form of that part, and then after that you have to write the function, ठीक है, which function is performed by ALU, CU and MU, and at the last you have to write the example. ठीक है, आपने last पर उसकी example जरूर लिखनी है. Okay, so this is the ALU, and after that the second part is CU, that is the full form of CU is control unit. Okay, क्या है full form? Control unit. So the CU stand for control unit. And now we are going to write the function of the CU. So CU is used to control and coordinate all the parts of computer. CU controls and coordinates all the part of the computer. Okay, it directs the flow of data between CPU, memory, and other devices. Now you have to write the example. When you press any key on the keyboard, the CU sends the instruction to process the input. Okay, so this is your CU example, control unit example. Okay, the last part of your CPU is memory unit, MU. We are going to discuss the last part of this CPU, that is MU. Okay, so the first you have to write the full form of MU. So the full form of MU is memory unit. MU stands for memory unit. Okay, it helps the computer remember information temporarily and permanently. Okay, and MU stores data, instruction, and results because it is a memory unit. Okay, example. Example. Okay, when you want to save any type of document, who will save it? The memory unit will save it. Okay, so this is your memory unit. Okay, so this is your question number 8. This is your long question and you have to write this in a neat and clean form on your notebook. आप अपनी notebook पे इसको बिल्कुल neat and clean लिखना है. So the question is explain the CPU with its part. ठीक है, आपने CPU को explain करना है उसके parts के साथ. So first you have to write the CPU full form. So the CPU stands for Central Processing Unit and it is also known as the brain of computer because it controls all the operation and the parts, the task of the computer. Okay, so there are some functions or the characteristics of CPU that which task is performed by the CPU. Okay, after that you have to write the different part of CPU. There are 3 parts of CPU: ALU, CU, and MU. Now after that you have to explain all the parts of CPU. You have to write the full forms, and after that you have to write the function of the ALU, CU, and MU, and the last one you have to write the example. Okay, is it clear? So you have to write the 3 points in each part. The first one is the full form. After that you have to write the function, and the last one you have to write the example. Okay, so this is your long question that you have to write on your notebooks. Okay, now let's do a quick activity. I will give a situation and you will tell me which CPU part is responsible. You have to write this answer in the comment section that I will ask. ठीक है, जो अभी मैं पूछूंगी वो आप लोगों ने comment section में लिखना है, and this long question you have to write it on your notebook. Okay, so the question 1 is performing calculation. Which part is used to perform the calculation? Okay, so you have to write this in the comment section. The second one is which part of computer is used to controlling devices. कौन सा part है जो devices को control करता है? Okay, the third is storing data. Which part of CPU is used to store data? Now the fourth one is which part of computer is used for comparing numbers? The last one is which part of computer is used to send instructions? Okay, you have to write the answer in a chat box or a comment section. Okay, again I am repeating. The first one is which part of computer is used for performing calculation. The second one is which part of computer is used to controlling devices. The third one is which part of computer is used for storing data. The fourth one is which part of computer is used to comparing numbers. The fifth one is which part of computer is used to send instruction. Is it clear to everyone? You have to write these 5 questions in the comment section. Okay, so that's all for today's lesson. Today we learn about the hardware and software. CPU is the brain of the computer, and the different part of CPU, that is ALU, that is the full form is arithmetic logic unit, and it is used for calculation. And after that we learn about the CU, that is known as the control unit, and it is used to control all the devices of the computer. Okay, then we learn about the MU, that is memory unit. It is responsible for the memory purposes. If you want to save anything, then the memory unit is responsible for that purpose. Okay, now the home task is you have to draw a CPU diagram in the below of your answer. अपने इस आंसर के लास्ट पर आप लोगों ने CPU की डायग्राम भी लिखनी है. That is on your page number 18 आपके पेज नंबर 18 पे आपके CPU की डायग्राम बनी हुई है that you have to write draw on your notebook as a homework. Okay, so your diary for Monday is क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 to क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 टेस्ट. ओके, आप लोग का क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 से क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 तक टेस्ट होगा. इज इट क्लियर टू एवरीवन? दैट्स ऑल फॉर टुडेज लेसन. टेक केयर ऑफ योरसेल्फ. अल्लाह हाफिज़.